everybody to this week's sermon that I said this past Shabbos. And the title is Your House Filled with Gold and Silver? This week's Torah portion speaks a lot about the power of the mouth. Yes, the mouth. In fact, the mouth is very, very powerful. In Hebrew, the word for speaking is dibur, vayedaber, speak, dibur. Also has the word davar. Same letters, dibur, davar. Same letters, different vocalization. Dibur means speech. Davar means a real thing, an existence. In other words, your words can bring things into existence. Even more so, when God created the world, it says openly in the Torah that at the beginning of creation, and the Lord spoke and said, "Let there be light." So creation came into being through speech. The next day, and the Lord said, "Let there be this." The third day, let the grass grow and the trees from the ground. The fourth day, and the Lord said, "Let there be luminaries in the sky." So creation came through the power of speech. Speech is the biggest transformational thing to change the world, seriously. For example, if you have a good orator, they can speak well and they can take over a country. And they can be voted to become the prime minister or the president. Why? Because they were able to communicate well. So when you speak, it makes a difference on your body. Perfect example, many times there are people that the police aren't sure if you're telling the truth. So they set you up onto a lie detector. And then all of a sudden they ask you a few questions. And the words that come out of your mouth, it goes, and you're wrong. Why? Because when you say a lie, it affects the body. In fact, sometimes you watch our children, and when they lie, they can't look at you in the eye, or they start batting their eyes. Why? Because there's an effect of words that bring negativity to the body. Imagine what it was many, many, many years ago, in the time of the Holy Temple, when our bodies were super duper holy. So it's not just words that were negative, would make my eyes blink or look away. It had an effect on the body so much that all of a sudden things started growing on the skin. These things, these liaisons that would be on your body, is called tsaras. And all of a sudden, you have to go and take care of it. How do you take care of it? So the first thing the Torah says is you go to the Kohen. The Kohen is the one that works in the Holy Temple, and you bring one to your house. And you stand outside, and he looks. Is this tsaras or is this psoriasis? And he looks to see in your hair if things are growing, in your beard, if it is a skin ailment, or is this tsaras? If a person has tsaras, now these are the laws. The laws are that the courts set up little huts, ADU units, outside the city, and you go in there. There's a bed there, there's electricity there for lights, there's a table, there's a chair, there's your talis, your tefillin, there's some holy books, and that's it. No phone, no communication for 7 days. Why? You spoke gossip about somebody. You spread false rumors about somebody or about some product or whatever. Being that your mouth has the power to create good, you now have to look into yourself, into your soul, and says, what made me speak gossip about my friend or about anybody? And there in your solitude for 7 days when you can't communicate with anyone, you start talking to yourself and saying, why do I have to be this way? And if you come to good conclusions, your body will feel it and it'll go away. At the end of 7 days, the Kohen comes and knocks on the door, and you open it up, and he looks. If it went away, you go home. If it didn't, you still have to work on yourself, and you stay there another 7 days. Once you're cured, go home, live your life, but you learned your lesson. Some people, that they don't learn their lesson, and then all of a sudden, their clothing may get these blotches. And if it's really terrible, inside your home, the stones of your home start growing these blotches. You think of it as mold, it is not. It is these liaisons that come because of a spiritual ailment in the home. And you must understand something. Words make an energy. The energy in the home is negative. And so God, your home was very holy and very sensitive. So you have stones that will grow these things. What do? So now you call the Kohen. The Kohen says, take everything out of the house. Because if I call this house defiled, everything in it will become defiled. So you take out all your furniture. And then he goes in and he looks. If it's defiled, you go out for 7 days and you have to contemplate the way you communicate, the way you talk, and you make yourself a better person. After 7 days, you go inside. If it went away, good. If not, we now have issues. Comes the Torah and says, if it doesn't go away from these stones in your home, you go in, you take and you carve out the stone, you take it out, and you would have to put in a new one. What was found inside the walls? Gold and silver. Gold and silver? How? You see, when the Jewish people were leaving Egypt, the 7 nations were very petrified that the Jewish people were going to come and conquer everything. They didn't want the Jewish people taking their money. So of the 7 nations that were there, the Amorites put them inside the walls. Of the 6 other nations that were there, they also hid it. But what happened was, when the Jewish people got stuck for 40 years in the desert, everybody else took their money out, they spent it, and they partied with it. The only ones that didn't do it was the Amorites. So if you had an Amorite home, you got gold and silver. Comes the question. You spoke gossip, you sinned, and now you get a reward in your home, gold and silver. Everybody would be talking gossip. So the reality is, how is it possible that you got a reward for gold and silver? And question number 2, why was it the Amorites that was this? Why them and not the Chiti, the Prizi, the Yavusi? Why didn't they keep it in the walls? Only the Amorites. So the Rebbe gives a beautiful answer to this, and this is the crux of the sermon. You see, everybody, your home is what you create. And God asked you and I, make a home, a dwelling place, a yummy place. That every person who lives there lives with respect, and God could dwell there. But you know what? Many homes, there's friction. There's talking. And all of a sudden, it's as if you don't want God there. And then all of a sudden, people, they're there, but they're not enjoying themselves. Like, for example, many times people come for Friday night dinner. And all of a sudden, you're screaming family politics, regular politics, and you argue with each other. And all of a sudden, the beautiful warmth of Shabbos is not there. Or there are sometimes people that they have anger and they scream at each other. You use 4-letter words. This is your home. Comes the Torah and says the walls feel it. Your children feel it. Everybody in the house knows it's toxic. Why? Because of the mouth. If you speak pleasant with each other, it's a beautiful home. If you talk with respect to each other and you say loving words, it's a wonderful atmosphere. But when there's a person comes home and you're all worked up and you scream at your children because work isn't going well, or the kids, they love you. All they want is a hug. All they want is your time. And you have no time. I'm busy. Or if a kid comes home with a mark from school that was a 98, and said, "What? You couldn't get a 99, 100? What's wrong with you?" Those words, "What's wrong with you?" hurt the child so much. It made him feel down. He's not in a safe zone. How many times do parents say, you couldn't do this? You're such a loser. And all of a sudden, everything around you is feeling cold and dark. Your spouse is looking at you. What's wrong with you? Or sometimes they join you in the screaming and the four-letter words. And then the children say four-letter words. And everything is going haywire. You tell the children, don't say those words. And then when you tell them do something, they scream back at you. This is a home that is filled with saras. But if you use your mouth properly, you have a beautiful family. You have a beautiful lifestyle. And the message for today is, it's gold and silver all over your home. Why? Because of the atmosphere of your mouth. Each one of us, I beg you as your rabbi, take these four-letter words and get them out of your mouth. Get them out of your mouth. Don't say it at home. No matter what it is, it's not acceptable. You want gold and silver. You want a beautiful home. You want your children to feel, I feel safe here. No one's ever put down. I'm never called a loser. I'm begging you. You want your home to feel like it's gold and silver? Not feel like. It is gold and silver. And that's why from all the nations, it was the Amorites. It was the one that teaches us this lesson. See, the word emor is Amar. Amar means Vayomer, and God spoke, and God said. It's words. The Amorites is about the words. The Amorites, the words can hide the gold and silver in your house. The words could reveal the gold and silver in your house. My dear friends, I know this whole concept of liaisons and what you're speaking about sounds far-fetched. But the lesson of the Torah lives today. It's not far-fetched. It's real. Your children only want one thing. Daddy, Mommy, tell me you love me. Daddy, Mommy, tell me you love me unconditionally. I'm sure you know the story of Johnny. He goes over to his father and he says, Daddy, let's have a race. I have 100 nails in this bag. I have another 100 nails in this bag. Here's a hammer. Here's a hammer. Let's see who can go and put 100 nails into the fence faster. So the father rolls up his sleeves, goes, and the kid's going, each one of them is putting nails into the fence. Daddy wins, obviously. Then all of a sudden, Johnny goes and says, Daddy, let's see how fast we can take it out. Maybe I can beat you on that one. So they go, and Daddy wins again. All of a sudden, the daddy is looking at the fence and sees all the holes in the fence. He says, Johnny, you fool. You idiot. Why'd you tell me to do this? Look how many holes there are. You just destroyed this fence. You loser, you. And Johnny looks up at his father and says, Daddy, every time you say I'm a loser, and every time you call me a name, it's another nail in my fence that never goes away. Why do you hurt me so much? God blessed you at your wedding and said, may you have a binyan adayad, an everlasting home. There's only one way to have an everlasting home, built on Torah, mitzvah, and especially the atmosphere you build with your mouth. Did you know that the words adaber, kedaber, which means I create through speaking, diber. The world came into this world through creation. Words create things. You put it out there. Your words can create a home of love, tranquility, or your home could be a home of total dysfunction, and nobody wants to have anything to do with each other, and the kids are always fighting, calling each other names. They only learn it from one place. My dear friends, 2 Torah portions in the book of Leviticus. It's the 5th book of the Torah. God puts 2 Torah portions to teach us the laws of the damage that can happen through the power of your mouth. 2. Kosher only has 1 chapter. Tefillin only has a few lines. But the power of your mouth and the negativity it could bring is 2 full portions. But at the end, God goes and shows us the blessings of the home. Gold and silver is in the foundation. You can have a house, gold and silver. May God bless you all, that your words shall change. You shall treat your children differently. Don't come home angry. No matter how bad it is, don't use a 4-letter word. I beg you. The more you use good words, you will become changed. The liaisons won't be there. The more you use good words, your home will be so much better off. God gave us 2 Torah portions to teach you. I want you to have a home filled of gold and silver. God bless you.